Welcome to the Hmong Woman podcast. My name's Dochi.
I'm Ariel.
And I'm Emily.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us. All right, so diving into today's topic. So today we have doing things you enjoy, things such as reading, singing, blogging, whatever it is, without the fear of judgment. So that's our main topic or focus of the day. So what are some things that you guys currently enjoy doing or things that bring you joy?
I like hiking. I like working out, doing yoga, paddleboarding, baking, reading. I've been into a lot of self-development podcasts, so I'm a really big podcast listener. Another thing I really enjoy doing as well is running a business.
That's so great. Do you mind expanding more on what it's like to do each of those? Is it like an everyday incorporation for you?
I don't get to do it as much as I'd like, but it's definitely something that I try to do at least once a week. Not every single thing, but trying to do at least one of them every weekend.
Okay, fun. I also enjoy hiking a lot too. More so just simple walks in the park, but because of the weather here, I haven't been able to do that as much either. I also really enjoy more now than before reading. It's something I used to like to do when I was younger, and then it kind of fell off the surface of the earth. But I just recently got back into it. And then watching Friends is also something I love doing. It's more of a background thing for me, but it does bring me a lot of peace and joy overall. And then singing and karaoke. If you see my continuous posts on Facebook, it just kind of brings my mind into this space of I'm not really having to face what's going on in life, and it's good for me to not be so stressed on every other factor in my life. So those are the things I'm currently enjoying.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to the hiking and the reading and cooking. I love cooking, as you can tell. No, but I love hiking. So there's a trail near here that I walk every day. Not every day, I shouldn't say that, but I walk most days. It just brings peace of mind. There's a study done, and I'm going to bring that up right away at the very beginning here, of course, typical of Emily. But there's a study done by Utah State University Mental Health Education Extension. So this is done in 2021 that shows that doing things that you enjoy improves your mental health, right? Doing the small things that you do. So it helps keep you motivated. It helps you cope better, helps reduce stress and improve overall well-being and mental health. So doing the small things like going on a walk, reading, even taking just one day of the week to just do nothing helps improve your overall well-being. And so reading, if you see the bookshelf behind Dochi, those are all of my books. I have another one in my bedroom. I write just for fun. And writing is in creative writing or journaling. I do cook every day, so that's something that I used to hate doing because I was forced to do it, but I love cooking for myself. And I've been trying to reduce food waste too. So instead of going to the grocery store every day, I just buy food and I put it in the freezer, and then I take out what I need to, then I cook myself a meal every day. Yeah. So those are the things I like to do overall. Definitely agree with the hiking and the reading. Those are things I really do enjoy doing. And I used to only like hiking during sunny days, but I've come to appreciate walking and hiking even during cloudy days. I think there's something really great about the gray.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah. I probably should do that too, because I totally avoid going out in the wintertime. We'll resume the walking in the summer on the nice sunnier days. But then that means I miss it half the year. But if I do make my big move, then I'll probably get to take walks every day. So that's nice. So with you, Emily, how often do you get to attend to the things you enjoy? Is it more on a daily basis, or do you kind of try to squeeze it in on a monthly basis, or is it something that's just kind of on your mind? You like it, enjoy it, but you'll get to it when you do.
Yeah, I used to, for the longest time, not be able to do things that I enjoyed because my schedule was always so busy. I was either always working, doing things for other people, or I was in school. So I was in school for a really long time because I went from my undergrad right into grad school. So I was in school for 6 years. And then I was also doing an internship along with, grad school. But then I was also working 2 jobs along with my internship and being in school. And then right after graduating grad school, I was just working full time. But I also wasn't driving. And so then I didn't have the ability to do things that I enjoyed. And so that's when I started appreciating just walking, because that's all I could do. I could only walk, right? I walked to the bus station or I walked to the store. And so I really appreciated just being able to walk places that I could. And so, now that I have the time and the ability to do things, I try to fit it in as much as I can, right? So on a weekend, even yesterday, I was busy all day, but I still put in time to do something that I really enjoyed, which is cooking for myself. I only had like 30 minutes before you got here and it was really late, but I'm like, I'm hungry. I know it's late, but I really just want like a home cooked meal. I'm going to cook myself something. I'm not just going to like do something quick and easy like ramen. So I like just made myself like really quickly some like fried rice and like cooked for myself. And that made me feel a lot better because I put that time and effort into it. And, every night before bed, I do read. 1, because it puts me to sleep. And 2, it's not being on your phone before bed, which often is what makes you have trouble sleeping at night is, using your phone before bed. But 2, it's doing something that I enjoy, which is reading, and it's stimulating my mind in a different way. So, intentionally doing these things that I enjoy and having the time to do it now and intentionally building that into my schedule because, again, before I didn't have the time to do it. And now that I do, I'm intentionally doing it. 1, because I didn't have the time to before, but 2, it's because I know that it's for the betterment of myself. But if not now, when? When am I going to be able to do that? Because in the future, if I ever decide to change my mind about having kids, which I will not, you hear so often people are like, oh, I just wish I had time for this. And it's like, well, I have the time now. Might as well do it. So, yeah.
Yes, so I really like that because I became aware that I used to say that I enjoyed all these things like reading, I liked karaokeing or whatever else was on my list, but I always had this mindset of I don't have time for it, and because it wasn't absolutely necessary to my day to get things done, I would avoid doing it and kind of put it off. And then it's like, I'll do that at the end of this week. So I never got to reading. I never got to just sitting down and just doing nothing and watching TV and really enjoying my day at least once a week or daily. It was kind of when it came by, it did. And I think that really messed with my mental health because life just did not seem enjoyable. But that really was my own doing because I didn't want to focus on the things that I enjoyed. So even just 10 minutes a day reading, like it's building that habit. Initially, it was me just trying to focus on, okay, if I can read 5 to 10 minutes a day or read a chapter a day, I would be good. Even if that's between my breaks or right before I went to bed or right as I got up, I can squeeze in 5 minutes to read. And if I can't do that, is this really something I like or enjoy? And I've been able to commit to that. And now it's like every spare moment I have, I'm like, oh, do you think I can fit in a chapter because I want to see what happens next in my book? And so I'm happy I've been able to recommit to that. Of course, friends, like I said, it's something that I enjoy, but it's now more of a background white noise thing where if I'm at home and I'm cooking, I don't enjoy cooking that much. I will make ramen to eat. It's not the best habit, but I like having it in a background. I just really want to, as you said, focus on being able to give to myself at least once a day, at least 10 minutes a day, and not keep pushing that off because life is short, is what I'm really learning. And I don't want to be late into, my 40s, 50s, 60s, or on my deathbed and realizing I never committed to myself. So, yeah, that was a good point you made there.
I agree with both of you in that way, where I was in college for 5 years too. And then while I was in college, I was working full time as well. So I feel like that in itself is a huge mental stress and physical stress. But then when you're going through something like that, you can't really put in the things that you enjoy because there's just really no time for it. And I probably could have, managed my time a little bit better. But at the end of the day, being in school and being full time just takes up most of your time. So I think after I graduated, that really was like the aha moment for me, is like, why am I feeling so burnt out? And it's probably because I never prioritized myself. So for all the peeps who are going through the same thing, make sure to take care of yourself and make sure to take time out for yourself, because you're what matters most at the end of the day. I think now I have a really good life-work balance, just because like I make time out, whether it's every single night, like Dochi said, reading like 10 minutes a night, or like working out in the mornings before I even go to work. Like I make time out now to do the things that I love, even if it's just 1 hour to 10 minutes a day.
I really like that. So I have Ariel on my Snapchat, and I love seeing your morning walks on the treadmill, because to me it's motivating. It's something I want to get back into the routine of. And even if it's just a 10, 15-minute thing in the morning to be active, I know when I was initially doing that, it just wakes up your body. For me personally, I feel more prepared for my day. I'm more energetic. And since I stopped doing that, I wake up all groggy. I'm tired. I feel like I'm rushing to get things done. So whenever I see your snaps, I'm like, way to go, Ariel. And she'll have the day that's Monday. It's Tuesday. So I love that. I think it's motivating, and I like that you do that every morning. And maybe it's a journaling for you, but for me, I'm like following every morning. She's walking again. I need to start walking. So I do like that a lot. Yeah.
That's so funny. And it's really impactful, because even yesterday my niece was like, Auntie, are you still getting up really early in the morning and going on your walks? And the fact that kids are even realizing that, you're doing things that you enjoy that are good for you, and they're remembering that, just think about the impact that has on people who look up to you. Just the fact that that somebody else, might be picking up on that too. And as you said, right, you see Ariel's story and that's inspirational to you. Just imagine the impact that might have on somebody else, especially somebody else who's looking up to you. So that's a good reminder for sure. So I guess my question is, what do you do now that you enjoy, that you used to think or you used to care that other people thought about, but now you don't care? Right? That you used to be scared that people used to judge you on, but now you don't care. You just do it because it's something that you enjoy. Right? Like right now, I can name one right now, which is like I listen to whatever freaking music I want to listen to. If I'm listening to K-pop, I'm listening to K-pop. If I'm listening to country, I'm listening to country. Right? Because there used to be such a like negative connotation about people who listen to like country music or like K-pop, or like sometimes I'm listening to like Thai music, or like I listen to like sometimes even when I need to focus, I put on like Seesaw. So, I just put on like a YouTube playlist of like this. I forget what his name is. It's this Hmong guy in Laos. He's got like a ponytail. He's like in the mountains and he's just playing the seesaw in the mountains. Yeah. And I'm like, this is so relaxing. But like, if I need to focus, I just put him on, and then like, I'm just like focusing on work, and like, I used to be so afraid of people like judging me for that. But I'm like, it's my music. It's what I want to listen to.
Is it weird if I say there are weirder things than that?
No, but exactly.
That is true.
But that's the thing, right? It's like you think it's so weird and you think people are going to judge you for that, but it's like it's not that weird. So like, what are things that you do that you enjoy or listen to that you enjoy that you used to be afraid people would judge you on, that you do now that you're just like, I don't care, it's what I do, it's what I enjoy?
So I can actually piggyback right off. I totally forgot about this, but as you know, my music selection, it's really small. I'm still listening to the same 5 songs I did when music first came out. I don't feel that, even though I love karaoke and singing, I've never really been a big music person. So the songs and the genres I've been introduced to were from when I was really young. And they're more memory based, and the interactions I had with my cousins that I was really close with. So they bring me back really good memories. And for some reason, I know that growing up, I just felt that music was, in a sense, annoying because I didn't like the music. I just did not expand to try to listen to new things. And so I was always embarrassed, or I shied away from introducing what I liked to other people because I like more traditional Hmong songs, what people felt were too fobby or too old school, the notola and all that good jazz. And so whenever people would ask me like, oh, what do you like? I just straight up say, I like traditional cultural music, and I would never play any songs for them. And that was in every single setting I went through. It wasn't until more recently, just last year, that I was able to comfortably just be like, I don't care. This is what I like. Like, this is the kind of music I enjoy. And if you don't like that, that's fine. And it's exactly what Ariel said, There are weirder things in the world, and me liking cultural Hmong music is not the weirdest thing in the world. And so being able to accept that, as ridiculous as that sounds, makes it was, again, a mindset. And I was just so scared to share with people where they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, she's so weird for listening to that. Like, you're not listening to EDM music or the current pop songs on the radio. Or when they would mention these songs, I'm like, I have no idea what that is. I don't know what that is because I don't listen to it. But aside from that, I know that like right now, I really enjoy karaokeing. I love singing. And it's something that I think I got from my mother. I remember growing up, I would remember her singing all the time. She would sing in the car. She would sing when she's cleaning. But for some reason, I was so afraid to sing out loud. And I think it had a lot to do with the need to be perfect. Like, if I didn't sound right, I didn't want to be judged, even by my own family. And so I really wanted to share this memory because I remember that when I was about Ellie's age and my mom would vacuum, I would think that the vacuum was so loud, it would drown out my voice. So as my mom's vacuuming, I'd be like singing at the top of my lungs. And then I swear she knew too, because she would turn it off and then I would stop singing. And then she would turn it back on and then I'd start singing out my lungs again. And then I'm like, she doesn't know. And now that I'm older, this memory just came back recently. I was vacuuming. I was like, why did I do that? So I'm more comfortable singing now just publicly because whether I'm great or not, it's the fact that it just brings me joy. But that also ties back with, what you mentioned earlier with Ellie. It's just, some of these things, it seems so mundane and seems like it's your daily activity. My mom singing, walking around, she probably didn't think that it would affect me, but I loved it because it made me enjoy music in that sense too. And a lot of the songs that I have on replay are the ones that she used to sing along in the car. And it reminds me of her. So that's one of them. Oh.
Yeah, I think some of the things that I can think of right off the bat are definitely things like I used to not tell people I liked bad rom-coms. So I love bad rom-coms. And then I also in my opinion, I listen to like all kinds of music, but I used to not tell people that because I didn't fit the mold of it, but I used to not tell people that I liked like metal and stuff. So yeah, that's something about me.
This I listened as Dochi, I listen to all kinds of music except for screamo. So every time I hear like what people listen to, I'm like, yes.
I just absolutely love this because like what I did not know that about Ariel at all. But then at the same time, I also didn't know that Emily liked EDM music until just very recently. Like, I had no idea what you really liked. I just assumed mainstream, but I love that we're becoming more comfortable with what we actually fully enjoy. And there's nothing wrong with liking the things we love, but the fact that we thought, I can't enjoy it, it's just so different. The varying like levels. I like everything from country to Hmong music to sisal and then screamo over here. And then I'm like traditional Hmong music. I just never thought.
Well, I don't think she said screamo, but
I'm sorry. See, I'm not good
metal.
At metal. Sorry. But yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So what is your favorite bad rom-com for now?
Oh, I have too many. I'll leave it in the show notes, guys. I can't think of one right now. I have too many favorites.
We got to do a bad rom-com night.
Yeah.
I love bad rom-coms too.
Fun. Maybe for me to watch because I'm still catching up on shows. So there's that.
Have you watched Broken Hearts Gallery?
No, but that's on my to-watch list.
I have it if you want to borrow it. Yeah, that's a good, it's not a bad rom-com. It's like a mid rom-com, but it's on the good bad rom-com spectrum. It's not a bad rom-com, but well, thanks for entertaining me. I just, because like there's so many things that we put off that we enjoy, not just because we're busy and like we don't make time for it, but because we're scared of judgment, right? Because we're like, oh my God, people are gonna think of me a certain way because I do this. And yes, there are weirder things, definitely, but because we're such a judgmental society and like we do like to like flock to people and we're so scared of judgment, like we do oftentimes like not do things that we love. And so when we tap into the things that we love without fear of judgment, we often find that we, are more likely to love ourselves. So
Where do you guys think for yourself that fear of judgment stemmed from?
my mommy and daddy issues. I'm kidding. I'm going to edit that out.
I love that. All right. We get real. Okay.
No, I mean, jokingly and unjokingly, yes. I think part of it is cultural,
Don't
right?
edit that out.
I love that, actually.
Part of it is cultural, right? Like how our parents, like how we were raised, right? It's like, you have to act a certain way and look a certain way and behave and give yourself your image a certain way, right? Like a good Hmong daughter doesn't act this way and like listen to these kind of things and do these kind of things. And then, I grew up partly in Elk River, Minnesota, which is very white. And so, a lot of the people there were like very country and like very judgmental too. Like I got in trouble as a young kid and like they blamed me for something. It was like a very racist experience. And I was like, I didn't even do that, but whatever. And so then, just growing up in a very like judgmental group of people where they're like, you do that? Like, why do you do that? And it's like, just the judgment of being surrounded by people who always had expectations. And so it's like, okay, well, I want to be accepted somewhere. And so then you conform yourself to kind of fit these group of people. And so that's where it was for me. And so like, it was always hard for me to kind of find an identity that I was comfortable with because I was always trying to conform to try to like find my people. And then I eventually, obviously after high school, I was like, I'm so tired of conforming. I want to like be myself. Obviously I went through like a quarter life crisis for, 10 years. And now I'm finally comfortable with who I am. So I'm just kind of like, okay, this is me. I listen to whatever I want and do whatever I want. So that's where it is, right? It's just a matter of you trying to find who you are and where you fit. And you're surrounded by other people who are doing the same thing, who are also insecure, at least for me. And then, it's also the kind of the culture that I grew up in where it's kind of like, well, you need to fit this perfect daughter image. And like, other families need to see you as this like nice, perfect daughter too. So it's kind of like you're doing all these things at once and it's, you kind of get lost in all of that. So when you're finally comfortable with letting all of that go, at least for me, that's when I was like, well, I'm going to do what I want. And I'm going to get tattoos and I'm going to listen to music that I want. I'm going to go get piercings, whatever. And yeah, so that's how it was for me, at least.
Well, I think for me, I had a similar background to Emily. I grew up in a like pretty white area in Golden Valley, and I was one of like maybe 3 Asian kids growing up in the elementary and middle school system. So I feel like growing up that way, especially with like my traditional dad, it was pretty like it was instilled in me that like I shouldn't stand out and I shouldn't bring attention to myself. Not just because, you're the only Asian kid, but, you should put your head down and then you should do your best quietly. So I think just growing up off of that, I really realized that if you do want to do better for yourself, it doesn't always have to be silent. You can stand up for yourself. You can also ask for help. So I think that's one of the biggest things that like I've realized over the past couple of years is like you don't have to be quiet to do big moves.
I love that. Similar to you guys, actually. I moved around a lot growing up, and I was raised in Pennsylvania, so very, very small Hmong community. And I was raised very traditional amongst other Hmong individuals who actually grew up as Christians, so they were more modernized in their homes as compared to mine. It was really hard to relate to people, and as what you mentioned earlier, Emily, being able to find that group of individuals where I could be comfortable with or just to fit in somewhere because I couldn't. At school, I was like the 1% population that was even a person of color, not even just Asian. And when you're trying to like navigate through just the world alone or in school as a young child, and you're realizing how different you are amongst all these people, at some point I found myself just pretending that I enjoyed the things they did because I so badly wanted to find somewhere where I could fit in and people I could talk to. Even though I didn't fully enjoy those things that they were doing, I didn't fully understand it because once I got back home, it was a totally different environment. And once I got older, started moving around a little bit more, experiencing the world more, came to realize that the more I pretended to enjoy these things, the more I was bringing in people who enjoyed these things, and I was unable to relate to them. And basically, my circle of friends were people that were not really friends because I technically was a fake. Like, I wasn't enjoying the things that I said I was. And seeing that if I just was comfortable with being upfront about what I loved, that will bring in the people who also love those same things, and I'll be able to have genuine conversations with these people. And so being able to understand that really helps me overcome that judgment and saying like, you know what, F it. If I want to sing out loud really badly right now, I can. If I wanted to spend the rest of my day just reading a book, that's what we're going to do. I didn't need to pretend like I was going to, enjoy going out clubbing more than staying at home and, having a good dinner, gossiping, and drinking wine. So that helped me really focus on the things I love too.
So I really think judgment stems from others' fear, security, and like doubt foremost. Like I think it comes from a place of lack, if I were to really think about it. And one really good example of this is people judge because they can never see themselves doing it, or they think you're going to fail. So they doubt you because they doubt themselves. And I think to go with this, people are really easily triggered. So if you're doing something that they can't envision for themselves, I feel like a lot of people get triggered that way also. And I think a lot of people are also scared of being judged because exactly what we talked about, we're worried about how we're going to be perceived. And we want to be able to appeal to a group of people. And then I think another thing that I really wanted to talk about was like how you can build it up and overcome it is by really mastering your own confidence. So a lot of the times when I think about, I wonder if this person thinks this about me, I try to stop myself mentally and I ask myself, why are you letting other people's opinion weigh so heavily on you anyway? And I think understanding yourself and coming to terms on why you get triggered and knowing what you stand for and really catching yourself in those instances where you find other people's opinions do weigh on you, I think it's important to have that self-reflection moment and really ask yourself why you're feeling that way.
For me, overcoming judgment comes down to at least how I see it is they're not living my life for me. They're not paying my bills. They're not working for me. They're not answering my questions for me. I'm living my life for me. So why do I care about what their thoughts are and their judgment? So, that's how I see it as. At the end of the day, it is, building up your confidence for yourself and knowing that at the end of the day, they're not going to be there right? You're going to have to sit in a room by yourself for yourself. Even if you have a partner, right, you're still going to be there with your own thoughts, and you have to learn how to love yourself and be comfortable with yourself. And so get over that judgment, that fear of judgment of others, because you have to really enjoy and love yourself. So yeah, that's why, it's important to do the things that you enjoy and build your own person and build yourself up. So that's why I do the things that I enjoy now. And with that, I can close our session out with a quote by George Bernard Shaw, which is that life isn't about finding yourself, but it's about creating yourself. And so, it's about the moments that we put into our life, creating who we are, and moving forward with the moments that we decide to put into making ourselves and not letting other people define us. So at least that's how I interpret that. So thanks for joining us today for the Hmong Women podcast. I hope you enjoy our new setup. We did get new mics, and we are recording differently as well. And we hope to continue to make our content better. So if you have any feedback, feel free to leave us a comment and subscribe, and follow us.
If any of you can relate to our session here, there are things you enjoy, but you hold back on it, do in secrecy, or maybe you overcame that judgment, feel free to post that below in our comments and share with other viewers and listeners and us too, how you overcame that judgment.
Again, feel free to subscribe, and follow us to join us for new content and our journey as we continue to record more content. So thank you for joining us again. See you next time.